With nearly 350 followers across TikTok and Instagram and 125 subscribers on YouTube, our next guest has got the positive Canucks content for you. He will hit 6,000 likes on TikTok soon and will have 100,000 views on YouTube in no time. The grind is real with this man, as he's got you covered with over 200 videos on YouTube. We are pleased to welcome to the show CanucksLand.
Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. I saw your stuff on YouTube. I'm not as much on the other social media sites, but I saw your videos popping up on YouTube. And for me, it was the consistency, man. You cover everything. Like whenever there's something going on, you're always there.
Yeah, I try to be as on top of everything as I possibly can. It's really slow in the summer. So like the content, I'm trying to do like crazy stuff, like going back now, which is nice with the new channel, but I know next year when I hit, I might be really slow in summer, but I'm just waiting for that season to start.
Is it September yet?
Yeah.
Well, as I was mentioning, here on Nothing is Perfect, one thing we like to do is get your allegiances, see where you lie when it comes to your fandom. So, I mean, it's kind of an obvious question, but I'll ask it anyways. Who's your favorite team?
The Vancouver Canucks.
That one's usually easy. So
yeah.
Do you have a favorite player who's a Vancouver Canuck? Because that sometimes can kind of give us a good idea of what generation you're from. Oh yeah,
Alex Burrows. That's my favorite player. I play exactly like him in hockey too. That's the best part.
Do you have any French Canadian insults you throw anyway?
I'm not really too French Canadian, but I do have a French Canadian buddy who taught me some.
Yeah.
I just say tabarnak like a lot. Like that's really it. That's all I know.
So a lot of the time too, when you have a favorite player, quite often it's related to the favorite moment in your fandom as well. Do you have a favorite moment as a fan of the Vancouver Canucks?
It's so easy. It's the Dragon Slayer, man. It's that, and also I don't know if you've watched Boston Fan in Vancouver when the 2011 finals were on. If you haven't, check it out. It's this comedy guy. He was pretending to be a Boston fan in Vancouver, and he'd make a video every time, like after every game. And it was game 2. He called the wraparound goal the Burr wraparound.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So I just, the whole sequence too, because he would like the Tim Thomas coming out way too much out of the net, and that Burrows doing the wraparound. It's like that and the Dragon Slayer, or as he would call it, the Superman puck grab Blackhawk down goal, was just one of my favorite. It's my 2 favorite moments of all time. In terms of hockey.
I think it's one of those things. The game 2 one in the finals ends up getting overshadowed by the Dragon Slayer just because of how the finals ended. Whereas with the goal in game 7, it was the winning series goal. So
the more impressive thing about, like, I was going back, I forgot it was like 17 seconds in to overtime. It was like bang, it was scored. Like I didn't even realize it was that quickly.
Yeah. So do you play hockey, or you said you play like Alex Burrows? Did you play growing up?
I played house league for most of my life. I only played rep 1 year. We weren't sure if I was allowed to. I have a heart condition, so we weren't even know if I would play hockey. Eventually, I was able to, and it was just like low level hockey, but still fun. It's always like out there just because you enjoy the game. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment as a player?
It was actually my first year. I was in a tournament in Lillooet, I think. I scored my first hat trick. Like I was like could barely skate, and what the third goal, like we were blowing this team out. The third goal, the coach told us not to celebrate, but I was so happy I got that hat trick. I think it was Bieksa, where he does like the punch celly or something like that. I did like a Bieksa celly, and I got in trouble because we were blowing that team out. But yeah, that was definitely it there.
It's funny. It's I mean, it was kind of the same thing. I only scored 1 hat trick in all the years that I played ice hockey, and it was the same thing where it's like the game was a blowout, right? So you don't want to cheer, and even like mine, I literally just threw the puck on net. I didn't even look. It just happened to go in, right? So I had no excuse even celebrating, but I still did a little bit. So
I don't know how I scored. Like it was like 20. I think it was the only year we kept track. I scored like 23 goals that year.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I was my first year of hockey. I could barely skate.
Hey, just like Alex Burrows, right?
Yeah. It's getting in front of the net was a lot of it too. That was my thing in hockey. I just get in front of the net.
So this sometimes can be a harder question, the last of the fandom questions, but I like to throw it as kind of a curveball.
Okay.
Is there a hated rival that you always wished was a Vancouver Canuck?
Marchand.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Yeah, I would cheer for him 100. I did a little bit Team Canada, and I got to see it, and it really like boom, like yeah, Marchand is the guy 100%. I wish he was on this team. Him and Matthew Tkachuk as well, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one we could have actually had. We could have drafted him. I did not like him in Calgary, and then he got to Florida, and I warmed up to him a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, he would have been awesome on Vancouver.
That's usually how it goes, right? The players that you hate the most are the ones that you would love to
Yeah.
have on your team because you know they'd be pissing off the other guys.
If Burrows wasn't on our team, I'd hate him. Same with Kessler.
Yeah, Burrows bites Trevor Linden or Marcus Naslund, and suddenly it's a different story.
Yeah. Well, Todd Bertuzzi would handle it.
Yeah. Or Matt Cook would do it badly, and then Bertuzzi would end his career on a
I actually
stupid
have
punch.
a funny
Right?
story about Matt Cook.
Yeah.
When I was in the hospital, Finn came up to me, went to give me like this card, and I went to grab it. Finn pulled it back. Matt Cook came up from behind him. He's like, "You want me to kick his ass?" and then I was like, "Yep." And he's pretended to beat Finn up.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I like Matt Cook too. He was definitely like my favorite when I was younger, just because of that. But as I started watching, Burrows.
Yeah. So let's get into the CanucksLand brand.
Okay.
Let's start talking about how you got in and why you decided to start doing Canucks content creation.
Honestly, I've always wanted to talk hockey. Like I've looked up to a lot of the Sportsnet guys, Dan Murphy, Elliot Friedman as well. Like how connected they are, and they get to talk hockey all the time. And my dad was getting annoyed how much I talked hockey to him. He just wanted to watch other stuff too. Like he's a hockey fan. Don't get me wrong, but I'd go up to him. I'd try to talk and have a conversation. It's like I'm watching a movie. So I decided to start this channel, just so I could talk hockey and maybe people could listen and agree with what I say. But it's really just a thing to like create a positive environment about the Canucks, especially nowadays with how the media has been, especially this past season.
Well, I think that's one thing even for me too. And I noticed that's one of your things you like to talk about is the fact that we're trying to have positive Canucks media. But I think part of me realizes that anyone who's been covering this team for the last couple decades, every single game, I wouldn't be surprised if you end up jaded about this team. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I've had times where I've like just wanted to tune out. I even tuned out a little bit, just like the betting eras. It was horrible. I'm sure we've had worse eras. I know my dad's telling me like he was a fan back in like the 70s, right? That was definitely a hard time before like 82. Even 82 was unexpected. But yeah, the betting era, I definitely tuned out. I could see how people could get negative about that. Before the 2023-24 season, I put a $1 bet that we wouldn't make the playoffs. That's how confident. And I'm happy I lost that dollar.
Yeah, I don't think you would have made much on that bet. Either way.
No, yeah. It was just a thing to my dad. I was like, I'm putting $1 on them missing the playoffs. Yeah. It's not gonna happen.
Did you have a so far out of all the videos you put out, do you have like a favorite video that you put out so far?
It's two. It's the Don't Give Up On series with Pedersen and Demko. Those I put so much time and effort into those ones, especially like I want to make some special videos, and those were the first two that I decided to do. Definitely my favorite so far.
So, and before we were on air, you did mention you were doing some Fortnite streaming. Is that kind of where you started getting your teeth cut when it comes to video editing and stuff like that, or was it before that?
On my on another channel, which I kind of just use as my watching YouTube channel now. I was a kid. I always wanted to become a YouTuber. I was enamored with the dream, and so when Fortnite came out, I decided to start playing it, streaming it, made some videos off of it, and yeah, definitely that's where the editing like a little bit comes from. My basic videos, the editing is just very simple. It's just cut place. But the Demko video especially, I noticed like, oh yeah, kind of like having to layer stuff on. I've definitely improved though with this. It's definitely more like I've taken this more seriously.
What's the biggest learning lesson that you've had so far when it comes to content creation?
Just drown out the hate. Honestly, like when I started creating content, like I'd look at it and I'm like kind of scared about it. When I started creating content, really like people are just going to be so negative for no reason if you're a small channel. If you just realize, like, you know, why do they have to do that? Why did they have to say that? Like, you have to think, like, they thought themselves, ooh, I'm going to be negative for no reason. Like, just drown all that out. They're just being negative Nancy's. You don't have to deal with them. And also, they're commenting on your content. They're
Yeah.
giving you engagement. It's free boost. They're
And,
helping. They're doing the opposite of what they want.
yeah. If as long as people are talking about you, it doesn't matter. All good news is
Exactly.
good news, right?
Yeah.
Have you had any like really positive interactions with anyone that you've built through your community?
Definitely. Yeah. There was a Blues fan in one of my comments where, like, the video is like weeks old. We are still having a conversation about the Blues and the Canucks. I don't know if you know Hockey with Dubs as well. He does content on
Mhm.
the Canucks. Me and him, we've been talking a little bit about the off season and stuff like that. I've made a post on YouTube to say to check out his stuff. Like, definitely we comment on all our videos and stuff. It's been really good. Like, I'm so surprised of how good it's gone. I didn't expect it to be this good.
That's awesome.
And a lot of positive stuff. This was great.
Yeah, because I see looking at the YouTube channel, you got it started this year in January, right? So you essentially
Yeah.
covered the back half of the NHL season when the Canucks were kind of all over the place.
Yeah, literally, like, I think I started my channel 2 days before JT Miller got traded. So I came in right at the right time.
Yeah.
It was because, especially with how, like, the whole season was going, JT Miller getting traded was the big blow off of all the negative stuff that was going on. To really enter in there was kind of, and try to spin it in a positive way, was definitely tough, but also, especially being like small, starting at zeros at that point. But it was definitely a thing to learn because you're coming in at such a hard time trying to be so positive. If that's the start, then the rest could probably be a little more easy. I wouldn't say completely easy, but it would definitely be a little simple.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned JT Miller, so let's move on and let's chat a little bit about the Canucks as a team.
Sounds good.
Because obviously, eventually, the New York Rangers are coming to town.
Yeah.
JT Miller will be here. What is the reception that JT Miller is going to get by the fans of Vancouver when he gets back here?
I feel like I'm different than most people. I feel like a lot of people will definitely be happy to see him,
Mhm.
because I do think that he was a bit of a shining bright, as a shining light. As much as he was, like, hard on Pedersen, I think it was the teaching. I don't think he was like he hated Pedersen, but I definitely think that it could be a Kessler thing too. The Four Nations changed my mind on JT Miller a little bit with,
Mhm.
I think that third fight was unnecessary, and I think he was dumb for taking it. But I hope that he gets cheered because of what he did. But I definitely think there could be some boos because he definitely did have a part in how bad last season went.
Well, that kind of connects to another question I was going to ask you, and you said you made the video. One of your favorites was "Don't give up on Petey." Are you
Yeah,
telling me that Petey bounces back?
I'm telling you, PD bounces back, man. I'm a big believer. He's too young for that skill and that point producing to go away. I definitely think there's a lot of factors mentally and physically. I think the injuries are one of them. A big one that I actually left out of the video, and I'm really upset. I think when we traded Kuzmenko was another big thing because him and Kuzmenko got along really well. I feel like that internal friendship in the locker room definitely hurt Pedersen because he was probably subjected to more of the tough teachings of JT Miller instead of, the banana and Pepsi that Kuzmenko was.
So do you think, let's say you're right, Petey comes out, maybe point a game, maybe even just one, let's say 1.1 points per game, pretty good
Yeah.
pace for him. Does
Mhm.
that change the reception when JT Miller arrives back in town?
Uh, it might negatively. I think because also last season we even saw it too, where when Miller took his leave, Pedersen was about point per game.
Mhm.
So maybe, but honestly, Miller's done enough good that I think he could have that positive reunion. But also, it's the Rangers. Don't like the
Yeah.
Rangers, so the team could also have an effect on it as well. You don't want to see the Rangers coming into town.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, definitely.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it'll be an event, and it's kind of similar to the Four Nations Cup last year. We're all hoping like maybe they'll fight, maybe
Yeah,
they'll throw
maybe.
some, but they didn't, and they probably won't. But it'll be something we can talk
No,
about leading up to it.
maybe Kane will fight him.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Kane, I was gonna ask you, what was a
Yeah.
bigger shock for you? Was the trade for Evander Kane a bigger shock, or was re-signing Brock Besser a bigger shock for you this summer?
Besser. I just was like fully he's gone. I was like, yeah, I'm done. He's gone. I'm sad. I just bought my girlfriend loves Besser. That's her favorite player. I think you can guess why. And so I bought her a shirt, Nux meme shirt, right? The Prince Charming Besser shirt. I was like, that's a perfect Christmas gift. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I think Besser's going. He's leaving. We didn't trade him. And I was like, there's a little bit of hope. I always had that little bit of hope that he would re-sign, but I was really like just down and out. And then I was like 7 years, 7.5 from Elliot Freeman on my phone. And I'm like, oh, Vancouver. And so I messed with my dad a little bit. I just said the years and the number, didn't say the team. And I was like, Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me too, it was like when we got Kane, I was like, okay, well, Kane is sort of a Besser replacement in some ways. So then when Besser gets back, then it's like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. I could see it with a little more speed too, right? Because I think Kane has the shot.
Mhm.
If he needs a number one center to work with, so we have Pedersen to do that. He'd be a better fit in terms of working with Pedersen, but I don't think he replaces the point production that Besser brings in.
Yeah,
That's definitely what we would be missing. But I'm happy we have Besser back.
yeah. Well, speaking of people who are back and then flipping the coin over and looking at people who are not back,
Yeah.
I'll ask you, what's going to hurt the Canucks more, losing Suter, Joshua, or Shelovs?
I think depending on when we get a 2C, Suter. Because if we didn't trade for Kane, we could have kept Suter, have that kind of like the 3C switcheroo with Hedel and Suter,
Mm-hmm.
have that spot that we're desperately missing right now. But at the same time, um, if we get that 2C, it's definitely going to be Joshua. I know that we have some size with Kane. We have signs with Linus Carlson if he plays. I really liked him in the Abbey Calder Cup playoffs. But it's just the heart that Joshua brought. And I'm going to miss that a little bit. Definitely Joshua.
Do you think Shelovs has a chance to be a starter in the NHL for the Pittsburgh Penguins next year?
I hope so. I want to be positive and wish him the best and hope that he does good. It's just the situation didn't work in Vancouver. Am I sad he's gone? We have good goalies, so not really. But I'm happy that he gets a chance. That's like watching him in Abbey. I'm like he really needs a chance. But it wasn't going to be on Vancouver.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to ask you about the NHL a little bit in general.
Yeah.
Is there a team out there that scares you when it comes to playing against the Canucks next year?
Oh, it's always Carolina. Like the way they play, it's so good. I went to one of their games. We actually beat them, but it was a couple years ago. It was the Bruce Arians era, and I was just like, they're one of my favorite teams to watch. Like when they come into town, I hate them. They're so good. They beat you down in such a weird way. But then they hit the playoffs and they lose in the conference finals. It's just so weird. But yeah, it's definitely Carolina. I like them, but I hate playing against them.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they were always the team I chose in NHL when I wasn't allowed to be the Canucks. So they were always my backup team in that game, at least.
I'd always choose a team with like a player that I'd never get to play with, like McDavid. I'd choose the Oilers just so I could have like the skill player like McDavid on my team.
Yeah, yeah. I think with NHL, because I see on your channel you do play NHL quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I was doing a Quebec Nordiques Canadians only franchise mode because I wanted to do something different than just a normal franchise mode. And my buddy gave me the idea, and I was doing it, and then the game is just so bad that I kind of got tired of it, and I'm on a little hiatus of it right now. The development's so weird. Like I had players that hit 90, and then all of a sudden they would hit like 50 points and drop to 87, and everything just went wrong. And I was just like, either gonna wait till NHL 26, maybe do a Canucks one, or I might cut that out entirely and maybe add a new block of content that I'm if I think of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, they just dropped their cover athlete and then slash cover athletes today for the deluxe version of
Yeah,
the NHL 26. I mean,
and
pretty obvious choice for Kachuk to go on the cover this year, I guess.
yeah, I was hoping it would be like for the deluxe edition, it'd be Johnny
Mm,
and Matthew and Matthew. I know a lot of people are saying Johnny. Matthew
yeah.
has to be on it as well. But um, yeah, I'm excited for it for the Be a Pro. I might do that because apparently they're doing a better Be a Pro, but I'll have to spend the money and see, and then hopefully not be disappointed that I spent the money.
Yeah. Cross your fingers, I guess.
Yeah,
So the Vancouver Canucks have made some moves. Obviously, like we talked about, they just got Kravtsov back from Russia. See how that
yeah.
turns out.
Mhm.
So the roster is pretty much, I think, set unless we can see some kind of a deal for a 2C before the season gets going. Are you
Yeah,
confident that this roster can make the playoffs next year?
I am. I think that we were only 6 points out last year,
Mhm.
and looking at it, it was actually one of the worst seasons we've had, just in terms of everything off the ice. Imagine everything goes right. What could happen? Like the possibilities for Vancouver are up there, especially with because like we were so close to the playoffs, and yet we had such a bad season. If everything goes right, we could even be. I don't want to say it because I feel like it's a very hot take, but I feel like we could be first in the Pacific.
Mhm.
Like if everything goes right, we could have that great of a year. But I definitely do think, and I've been very vocal that um, I know people are going to hate this take, but LTIR and how everything is going to be different next season with the new
Mhm.
CBA. The Canucks need to take full advantage of it this season while it
Mhm.
benefits them. And I think they should wait for a 2C and then use like the paper transactions that they've been using. Sasson is one of them because he's still he's got his doesn't have his waiver eligibility.
Mhm.
Just move him up and down, open that cap space. If an injury happens, take advantage of it and get that 2C
Yeah.
with like LTIR money or open cap space because of how this CBA is,
Mhm.
and it will set you up better next year. Because if you take on that lower cap hit this year, cap's going up. You can afford to take that cap hit next year if they're on a multiple year deal.
Yeah, and I think I saw on Puckpedia right now the Canucks have whatever it is. It's just over $3 million in cap space, which if
Yeah,
they didn't sign anyone else, by the time they hit the trade deadline, that would accrue about 12 million, just under $13 million, which
yeah,
obviously could be a huge piece of the puzzle for a 2C moving into the playoffs.
yeah. The only thing that worries me a little bit with the 2 seed having to pay, we have to be like definitely in the playoffs for me to be comfortable to trade that pick. I'm so worried that it'd be Gavin McKenna. And then the next year, is it next year that's DuPont? Or is it the year
I
after?
think DuPont's the year after because DuPont's only
Year,
like 15 right now, right?
yeah, okay. So then maybe it's Maddox Schultz who's supposed to be that. Um, so that worries me too, because he looks really good as well. So, but I feel like I'd be more comfortable with like, but also you could do protected. You could protect it. So, but I would definitely be cautious about trading that first pick. But also Leckermacky. I really like his game. I don't want to get rid of him.
Mhm.
DPD is another one. I, I do think that they're right. Canucks fans overvalue their players,
Mhm.
but I think we overvalue just how much we like them, not how much they actually are contributing to the game.
Mm. So before I let you go today, what can people expect when they tune into all of your different channels on CanucksLand?
TikTok, expect point predictions and news updates. I try to update with the news as much as possible, keep people updated because I know a lot of people don't have the time to go search up stuff as well. So I try to make it quick, especially since TikTok is the scroll and you find it content.
Mhm.
YouTube, expect on Mondays. I usually try to keep it more current focused. So I try to do like off season stuff and my big videos like don't give up on. I'm trying to think which player to do that on now. I did the two big ones, and I don't know which player I'm going to do the next one on, but I do have some other videos like that. And then Wednesdays is all fun. It's going back, looking at stuff, how they drafted, how the trades have gone, signings, biggest free agent losses as well as one that I want to cover because I know we thought we would lose Besser, but there's guys like Cliff Ronning that we've lost in free agency in the past that was huge against the team. So stuff like that, fun stuff on Wednesdays and more serious stuff on Mondays.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today, CanucksLand.
Yes.
And I'd love to do more work with you as the season gets started and have you on, because when we go live in September for the showdown between Seattle and Vancouver, we're going to start doing streams, because last year on Nothing is Perfect, we actually streamed during every single Vancouver Canucks game for the entire season. And so
That's
we're planning on doing that
impressive.
again. So I'd love to have you on even during intermission or something like that, do some game analysis if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. This is awesome. It's great to be on.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, no worries.
Nothing is perfect.